when I was graduating high school, I told my dad's like, what are you going to do? I go, I'm going to own laundromats. And he goes, why would you do that? And I go, so I can make money while I'm sleeping. And that was my goal. And it went from laundromats to wanting to own car washes. And then all of a sudden the ATM opportunity fell into our lap. It was a brand new industry. And talk about passive income. That's exactly what that was.
And so did you ever actually you did own laundromats, you did own car washes, or you just go straight into?
I dove straight into the ATM space.
Gotcha. And so how long were you in the ATM space?
About 28 and a half years.
28 and a half years. And you grew it from
one. Me and my wife, we actually had come here to Phoenix to a conference, met with some folks and went home. We created a flyer on a Friday evening around 7, 8 o'clock. We went to the nightclubs in San Francisco and started pitching the super nightclubs about having an ATM in their space. We signed our first one. DNA Lounge was owned by Rob Schneider, the actor.
Oh, wow.
And then locations just started to fall in line.
And so just in California, or you guys expand like multi-state, national, like where?
We were nationwide. We were almost in every single state.
Okay. And so how did you go from transitioning from the ATMs into getting into real estate?
Well, the ATM company was making a truckload of money, and we started to buy single-family homes and got to about 8 of those, and that really wasn't scalable as 2 people trying to operate those and operate a company. So we found a multifamily seminar that we attended during COVID, and my wife's like, we figured it out. This is how we're going to save on taxes. And I'd been in the warehouse working all day, and I come home, and she'd been taking notes. She'd seen Brad Sumrock talk, and Grant Cardone was on his thing, and Robert Kiyosaki was on this event, and all of a sudden she's like, I got it. This is how we're going to save money, and she explained it to me, and all of a sudden we were dropping 50,000 into a apartment complex, and that wasn't going fast enough, so we started putting 100,000s in. That wasn't getting the money deployed quick enough, so we started with 300, and then it went to 500, and then we got asked to syndicate at that point.
You just started apartment investing less than 5 years ago.
Absolutely.
So you went from ATMs to apartments, and now you're scaling and growing rapidly.
100%.
What's the goal? Like
$1 or $2 million a month in passive income.
Okay, so the goal is focused on increasing and growing like the passive income side.
And helping friends and family grow their net worth along the way. I mean, we over 21 and 22, we raised a little over $82 million. And in the last 12 months, we raised another $6. So we're a little over $88 million raised in the last few years, but we didn't raise anything really in 2023 or 24.
That's the kind of the amazing part is I just assume that you guys have been in real estate for like 10, 15 years. So in less than 5 years, you go from transitioning from ATMs to investing in multifamily. And then I know you have an affinity for net lease, which we're going to talk about later. But not layer on top of that, you've raised how much money?
$88 million.
And 2 of those years you didn't raise any?
Correct.
So we got 5 years, he's raised $88 million. I know I'm meeting you now through Bryant, and Bryant's my best friend and my business partner, and so I know you guys met. How did you guys meet?
We met at a conference where I was actually speaking on capital raising.
And he's good at walking up and just introducing himself to anybody.
He's good at taking space and getting to know people very well. I credit him for that. I mean, I love to meet people. When I'm in a room of 100 people, if I can meet 3, that's plenty. I don't need to meet 50 because 50 doesn't create relationships, and I can't raise money across 50, but I can raise money from 3.
So was this Hero Alliance?
This is Hero Alliance, the very first one.
So not only did Bryant help create the relationship here and meet you guys, you and your wife at Hero Alliance, we also become good friends with Shelley and Corey Peterson.
Okay.
From that same exact conference.
That's perfect.
Yeah. And so I'll credit them because that's where the name of this podcast came from, is their hats and their
and then gear. We followed up when we got back in town because we were both in Arizona, and we had a Get Multifamily big event at our event center here on campus, and we had the pleasure to invite Michael up on stage as one of our panelists, and Samantha, they were double booked at another event that night, and Michael made sure that he came, and I just kind of got a chance to get to know him. We sat down in my office. We got a photo next to my hero, Pele, who was in 5th grade. I did a biography report on an athlete, and it was an opportunity to choose somebody that you wanted to be or that you wanted to learn more about, and because you aspired or you were motivated by this person or this individual. And on the third page, I think I turned the book and I found out that Pele was born on October 23rd, and he was number 10. And I was number 11 in soccer, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's my birthday, October 23rd. I had no idea. And you know, it's not every day that you meet another individual that shares your same birthday. And so when I found out that I share Michael Guthrie's birthday, we were fast friends. And then that was after a couple McAllens at the bar, and we got a chance to know each other.
So you guys share the same birthday, and then your birthday's the day after my mom's.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, yes. And their anniversary is the day before that.
Yes.
That's interesting.
21, 22, 23. Yeah. So you look for signs, you look for good people, you look for people that are go-givers and they're willing to come and help, you know, speak in front of your audience and your community. And that's what we're doing today. We're again, you know, on a podcast. Michael's the king of being a go-giver, and we've had multiple, you know, different events and charities and things that we're involved with, and we're going to, you know, continue to build the relationship. And that's what not only capital raising is about, but business is about. Business is about relationships. It's not always about, you know, top line, bottom line, numbers, black and white, black and red, whatever it may be. You know, it's all about, always about the relationship.
So let's talk about specific capital lending.
Yes.
Okay, so you invest in real estate. You're really good at raising capital, obviously. So where is Pacific Lending investing? Is it capital raising? How does, you know, what do you?
Pacific Capital's holding company.
Gotcha.
For our general partnership side. So we raise capital in there and then we place it into different opportunities. That's basically what we do there.
Okay, so you're raising capital, and then you're investing in properties and funds. What are you, like? How are you?
So we just did a fund of funds for a multifamily event or complex in North Carolina. We've also raised as co-general partners on a number of deals in the multifamily space and the triple net space. And we're getting ready to raise a fund now for hard money lending.
So coming from the ATM business, you're operating and you're growing this ATM business. It's becoming super successful. Now you're getting into real estate. So let's just pretend somebody's listening and watching us right now, and they've got what you said, laundromats, car washes. Let's say they've got, 12 plumbing locations or auto shops or whatever, and they're like, I got to get into real estate. What would you say to that person that's listening right now about transitioning or, getting out of that or keeping that and getting into investing in real estate, whether it's multifamily or retail or whatever they might be drawn to?
Great question. I'm just going to say out of the gate, a year from now, you wish you had started today. And when your money's sitting in the bank, even at Chase or wherever it might be making 2 or 3% interest, it makes a lot more money and a lot more growth when you get it into a project that actually can accelerate. And if you think we're going to have inflation going forward, rents typically follow inflation. So get your money out of the bank and get it actually working for you. You have a job. And I think what people make the biggest mistake of, and we don't teach this enough, is that your money needs to have a job. And you need to send it to work and create more money for you while you're creating money.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, want to catch the entire episode of this Rents Due podcast, click right here. If you're loving the Rents Due podcast and you want to see more episodes, click right here. And as always, stay hungry, my friends.